Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Bushcraft Basics. In this video I'm going to talk about shelter and I'll show you how to make a really easy natural shelter called a debris hut. Stay tuned! So first of all, just a quick disclaimer. These concepts and skills that I talk about in this series are just things that I've found helpful when I've been learning bushcraft. You'll definitely hear differing opinions, and especially in different environments. Also, if you want to practice these skills, make sure you get permission from the landowner and also consider your impact on the environment and clear up after yourself. So shelter is one of the first priorities of survival and can be simplified as basically maintaining your core body temperature. Therefore your clothing is actually going to be your first line of defence. For clothing in cold environments, I find it helpful to think of wick, warm, wet and windy. So the first one, wick, is basically a base layer made from wool or synthetic material that helps wick moisture away from your skin, keeping you warmer. Then the second one, warm, is basically multiple layers of warm clothing that helps trap dead airspace, keeping you insulated. And then finally, for wet and windy, it's basically a shell layer, so something like a waterproof jacket or poncho that keeps out the wind and rain. Now obviously for any outdoor activity, it's really important to be prepared for the environment you're in. In the last video we talked about the 5 C's of survivability and how a cover element was one of that 5-piece kit. Now your cover element could be a tent, could be a tarp, bivy bag, emergency blanket, be completely down to your preference. What are you planning to do and what environment you're in. My preference, if I'm actually planning to spend the night in the woods, I'll carry something like a 3x3 tarp, as it gives you huge versatility for shelter setups and you get less condensation problems than a tent. But if I'm only planning to go out for a day hike, then I'll carry something small like a magic carpet or survival bivy or safety blanket just for emergencies. Now what if you were in a situation where for whatever reason you don't have your cover element, you need shelter and you can't get to safety? Well, the first thing you probably do is try and utilize the landscape around you to get you out of the elements. So for example, this could be getting off the high ground and seeking lower altitudes, and also utilizing nearby forests, caves and embankments. Now depending on your environment, building a natural shelter might then be your best option. Natural shelter building is a great thing to practice and it's also great fun. It's just like being a kid building dens again. Now in general there are 3 main types of natural shelters, and they are A-frame, lean-to and debris hut. Now debris hut is one of the easiest natural shelters to build, and it's great if you're in a situation where you can't light a fire. So now I'll show you how to make a really quick and easy debris hut. Now when making a debris hut, use deadfall material as it uses less energy to gather and you'll have less impact on the environment. But make sure that the main supports of the hut are strong enough to hold everything so it doesn't collapse in on you. I'm going to use this old tree to get me started. Make the hut just big enough to cover your whole body. Then make a thick mattress of dry vegetation to keep you off the cold ground. Use big sticks to make the vertical beams. Then loosely weave smaller sticks horizontally. Gather large amounts of leaf litter and vegetation and pile it in a thick layer on your frame, from the ground to the ridgeline. Finally, rest big sticks on the outside to stop the debris from blowing away. So about an hour and 30 minutes later, we now have a really basic debris hut. And something like this can keep you surprisingly warm and dry at night. I could then take something like my backpack to block the entranceway and keep everything nice and cozy. The natural shelter building is a great thing to practice, but remember it's better to be prepared and always carry a cover element with you. So thanks so much for watching. Join me in the next episode of Bushcraft Basics, where we'll be talking about the second priority of survival, water. Thanks everyone.